G'day fellas and welcome to game number 3 between MarineLorD and the Viper. Spawning in over on the west side of the map, playing as the Chinese. It is the one, the only, the Viper. And he's going to be going up against MarineLorD, who is playing on the Abbasid dynasty on the right-hand side of the map, in the color red, of course. Now, this map, of course, is Altai, of course. I feel like I've said of course 57 times in the opening opening stages of this video. In fact, you know, that's something that I will often catch myself doing is I will just be, you know, I will say something and then I'll say it twice and I'll say it 3 times. I'm like, wait a minute, Drongo, you said that like 17 times in the last 2 seconds. You don't want to do that. Well, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about this game. Let's talk about what we can expect to happen. So, this game is game number 3 between these two players. Now, you notice up the top of our screen that we've got a very special UI feature. So, up over here in the top right-hand corner, you see MarineLorD. Over in the top left-hand corner, you see the Viper. Now, normally we would have these guys switched around. We'd have the Viper over here, MarineLorD over here, and so that their flags would meet in the middle and that their scores would be close together. But we're not doing that because... Why? Because of movie magic, and also because, well, Viper spawned over on the left side of the map, so it just makes sense to have him over on the left of your screen, doesn't it? So that's what we're doing. We're using a bit of movie magic. This UI, of course, is being bootlegged from Liddicor's EGC TV stream. So big shout out to Liddicore, to EGC TV, to Overlay Guy, all the guys working there behind the scenes. So well and so well thought out. But we'll take a look at and see what is going on right now for Viper, because I guarantee you for MarineLorD, I mean, okay, this is how it's going to be. MarineLorD's build order. He is going to go wheelbarrow into fresh foodstuffs, economic wing. He's going to probably open with a stable, and then we'll look to add a second town center before 8 minutes. Okay, that's him worked out. Now let's talk about Viper, because that is a little bit more interesting. We got the Chinese. Altai, obviously a map where the Chinese are a pretty solid pick, I would say. Now we only see 1 scout coming out from him, so not going to be compromising on the economy at all, and I think that's a pretty smart move. And he has opted to go towards the deer patch instead of going towards the berries, which some people do prefer to do. If there's a civilization that can actually do this, I do think it's the Chinese. Now, interestingly, he hasn't gone for this technology here, survival techniques. This is a technology that I think we're going to see a lot of play out of, and I think if the meta had been let to develop, you probably would have seen it coming out in a lot of games, because we are entering the phase of the Barbican, or should I say the Barbican, because this map, of course, has got 2 boars. There I go again saying, of course. It's got 2 boars on it, so here's the first one over on this eastern side, and this is, I guess, what we would call the boar of the Abbasid. Now, obviously, the Abbasid aren't going to be able to take the boar, so they're not too worried about it. Deer patch on the other side of the mountain, never fun situation to be in. You can see Viper's got his over here, so it's a little bit easier for him to get to, a bit harder to defend, a bit more open. But the boar over on this spot here, it could definitely be attractive for Viper to come to. Now, he has scouted that out. Actually, that's MarineLorD's perspective. Viper doesn't appear to have scouted that out just yet. But one of the things that I would expect that we would see players start to do eventually is that with a combination of deer as well as the boar, that you would have players looking to research that early survival techniques. But we actually see Viper going for an early wheelbarrow. So Viper's early Chinese wheelbarrow going to be coming out. He manages now to bring in the resources. He's got 2 Imperial officials out already here. Scout going to be running past. He's going to be dropping down a Barbican. It's just going to be in the base though. So doesn't go for a Barbican. Just looks to go for a little bit of the safe Barbican in the base here. And I do like that. I think it's a pretty smart move considering he's got the berries right here as well. Going to be able to protect his deer, protect his wood line, shut down a lot of the potential attack coming through here. Obviously, you'd be able to sneak in a couple of horsemen up towards the north here, but they're not going to find much. I mean, there's some berries out there, but it's a very short run back to the town center, so I don't think that's going to be happening. But we'll go check in with his enemy. We'll see exactly how MarineLorD's doing. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the wheelbarrow. There's the fresh foodstuffs. Actually just going to be going straight for it, so didn't drop down a stable. Okay, there we go. So I hit 2 out of 3. Third one probably wasn't the safest one, but gathering up plenty of resources now. He's going to be looking to go into that second town center. I wouldn't be surprised, depending on what he scouts, that he might even think about a third town center as well. If he spots China going for 2 TCs, he will go 3 TCs, definitely. But China can always even that up by going for a dynasty themselves if they look to go into that Song dynasty. But now Viper going to be scouting out his enemy, sees exactly what he's up to. He knows that he's in the second age. He knows that he could be looking at adding that second town center any second now, but now continues to move in towards that town center. He's looking to the base and trying to find out a bit more. Has scouted out that boar. Did I just become a rapper? I'm a poet and I know it. Is that the saying? But Viper behind with 5 villagers on gold. Curious exactly what he's going to look to achieve with this. We'll take a look at the mill and see what direction he goes for. Highly unlikely that he goes for professional scouts, considering he's already got so many of the deer. One of those deers manages to wander in towards that mill. He takes his shot and he doesn't miss. Not the Viper. He's the kind of guy who hits every shot he takes. But third Imperial official now coming out for him as well. Now, do note that in the next patch, there's going to be a whole bunch of changes that are going to be happening for the Imperial official and for the Chinese in general. So you're going to be seeing the village, which is currently only available as a Song Dynasty requirement or Song Dynasty building. That's going to come down to the Tang Dynasty because you start in the Tang Dynasty where your scouts gain 30% line of sight. And in doing that, they're also going to be bringing down the granary, that's the monastery, Drongo, the granary from the 3rd age to the 2nd age and actually putting it here in place of the village. So it means that once you get that 2nd Song Dynasty up, that you're going to be able to get the granary out. So the question is the granary actually any good? A lot of people don't seem to think so, but to be honest, I don't think we've really done enough research in it. And I can volunteer myself now. I'm the first one who's going to be advocating for granary technology. So what I'm expecting is Imperial official on the lumber camp with double broad axe, kind of like how the Rus do at the moment, and then, you know, rallying your villagers out to wood. You drop down your granary in your base. That's going to boost up the gather speed there of your villagers. You know, that's the sort of thinking I'm thinking of post-patch. But Viper just going to be going for a naked fast castle here, it seems. Now, the reason why it's called a naked fast castle is because you don't make any production buildings when you do this, or if you do make a production building, typically you're not going to be making any units out of it. And it doesn't look like Viper going to be doing that at this stage. Is rallying down towards this position, going to be actually just making a scout himself. Does have his scout out towards the enemy's base, but not going to be looking to scout out, or not going to be looking to defend his position, just going to be looking to scout out his enemy. But this scout going to be able to repel this enemy scout. Now, there's another change coming to the scout in the next patch as well that we'll talk about quickly. So currently, scouts do 4 damage with an attack speed of 3.75 with a 10 bonus against other scouts. So that means that when this scout comes in and attacks this one, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, in the next patch, it's actually halving the damage of the scout against every unit, but keeps the 10 bonus against other scouts. And what they're going to do is double the attack speed of the scout. So essentially, it's attacking twice as fast, but does half as much damage, right? Wrong. It does half as much damage against all the other units. It does, but attacks it twice as fast, but it still does the same extra damage against other scouts, which means when your enemy is on your gold mine attacking your villages, you can bring in 1 scout and you can start absolutely destroying through them. And so it becomes much more disincentivized for players to actually look to harass with scouts. Viper going for a fast castle, though. He is looking to apply early pressure. We do indeed see a monastery going to be coming out, so he goes straight into fast castle monastery. 1 villager just going to be dropping that down. He's not rushing it too much. But interesting build order opening for him. Viper definitely looking quite curious. We do see a wall coming up now from MarineLorD. Has he looked to go for a 3rd town center? It's just going to be a 2 TC play for him at the moment. Double barracks as well as an archery range going to be coming out. And he's looking to secure up this frontal position, making sure that he has got plenty of space to expand out, plenty of space to just have a little bit of privacy from his enemy. That scout Camel going to be coming out and doing a bit of harassment here. Looks like Viper going to have to evacuate the gold mine. Now that is of course going to be okay by him because he's going to be able to have his relics very shortly. We'll take a look at the relic distribution and see how it is. Pretty decent relic distribution, if I'm honest with you guys, for MarineLorD. He's got 1, 2 up here. I mean, Viper's got 1 down here. He's got 1 safe. You know what? It's actually pretty even. I'll be honest with you guys. It's not a bad spawn. But we can see that Viper is moving out towards the far relic first, and now actually going to be looking to wall up this position here. So really wants to secure this 5th relic, and he's just going to lock it behind that wall. So a smart move from him, but looking to play very aggressive. And I do like this opening. Scout actually going down from Viper, and now it looks like MarineLorD going to actually be coming out to wall on top of the boar, but there is a wolf there ready to take it down. And now we see this scout going to be coming out towards the Monk. Monk going to be looking to get towards the relic. We can see that there could be units, and Viper actually gets behind enemy lines. He does actually have the Lancer out here. So instead of going for the astronomical clock tower, he does have the option to go for the Imperial Palace, but opted not to do it because, well, I guess the landmark is considered a bit of a meme, if I'm honest with you guys. Monk, moving. What do we have here? Is Viper going for a Monk bomb? Viper is totally not going for a Monk bomb. Surely he's not going for a Monk bomb. What is he doing? Oh, he's just taking the long route around. he spots the enemy units coming out, and I think he probably knew that it was only a matter of time until he was taken out. Camel on the back line here, actually doing a great job of just harassing down the villagers. Got to be careful. This Imperial official probably going to be going down. It's got one more attack after this. Attack comes off. That's 75. Actually, no, that's a lot of resources. 150 food that goes down right there. You know what? Hey, developers, I'm going to shout you guys out right now. If any of you developers are listening, Imperial officials are really expensive, but they're very weak. Is it possible that when you have the textile upgrade that you also increase the health of the Imperial official by like 75 as well? That would be really nice. That would help out so much just in situations like that. Obviously, it wouldn't have changed the situation for Viper because he doesn't have that technology researched yet. But you know, for when that does happen, Wallalol going to be getting cancelled up towards the north. I'm not sure exactly what happened, why it didn't come through here. We did see the Monk move up to this position. The gate was open, but for whatever reason, Viper just decided to. I mean, he's essentially just moved the relic closer to the base of his enemy. We'll take a look at MarineLorD. He's still sitting in age 2 at the moment, stacking up a fair bit of gold at this point as well. So going to be thinking about getting into that 3rd age, but a lot of villagers still here on wood. He's sitting at the moment on 53 villages. You can see that at the top of your screens, compared to Viper, who's sitting on the 36, but he is bringing in that dynasty. You can see the Imperial Academy coming down inside the base of Viper now. Going to be buffing up a couple of these buildings here. Not getting a lot of the good ones, though, which is kind of standard, but a big spear mass now beginning to move out against Viper. He doesn't really have a lot in defense here. Is looking to get I was going to say a Barbican. He's looking to get a clockwork nest of bees out. Also going to be moving into a barracks. But yeah, a distinct lack of units that are coming out from the Viper at this point in time. And a huge amount of walls coming out as well. So still hasn't walled up a lot of these positions. I'm not sure exactly what happened that he didn't get those walls in. But now nest of bees going to be moving out. Going to be able to fire off on the single spearman. I say that, but you can... Two times it did that. Two times it put itself down, went to fire off, and then the unit moved. Can we make the engagement range slightly longer on the Nest of Bees? But look at the fucking damage that comes out. MarineLorD wasn't paying attention. Barbican, the Palace of Bees. Oh my god, the Nest of Bees now just doing so much work on that. That was actually pretty impressive. I mean, if your opponent disconnects their keyboard, then 100%, like, that is a great unit. But, you know, for all of the keyboard gamers out there, it's always going to be tough playing up against, you know, a Barbican like that. It's going to be very easy to move out of the way of the attacks that come through, but attacks. Speaking of attacks, MarineLorD trying to break through this wall on the backside. Double walls coming up. Now, interestingly, these are walls on each player's respective side. So Viper walls closer to MarineLorD, MarineLorD walls closer to Viper, and they put the boar in the middle. So we got ourselves a little bit of a piggy pen right here. Take a look at that guy. Isn't he so happy? Isn't he so chummy? He's my favorite guy in the whole wide world. It is beautiful. It's great to see that the developers have somehow managed to put MarineLorD's mum into the game in such a realistic form. So very well played there to the devs. I'm just kidding. You guys know I love MarineLorD. But his mum, though, that is a different matter. But we'll take a look now over at Viper's base. Viper with plenty of resources stacked up. He's got 900 wood in the bank at this point in time, and kind of makes me wonder exactly what his game plan is, because you got to remember, coming into this matchup, and something that we didn't really talk about is that there's a lot of options for you as China. Whether you want to go for a fast castle and go for relics, which is what he has deemed as the viable option for him, or in this situation, considering the matchup, that's what he said he wants to play. So that's the way he's looking to play it. You can go for 2 TC Dynasty yourself, or you can go for 1 TC Dynasty. He went for 1 TC Fast Castle, no Dynasty. And so as a result, he is sitting behind very heavily on the villager count. You can see right now that Viper currently sits at 42 villagers. And when you compare that over to his enemy, MarineLorD, who is currently sitting at 69 villagers, nice. That is a dire difference. I mean, we're talking 26 villagers at a very early stage in the game. Monk going to be coming over. Relic going to get picked up. Wallalol going to be triggered here. I think MarineLorD I love the way he just puts in the little extra shot as well. He's like, nah, I think I can make it out of this and get the shot in as well. And now going to be moving away. He's brought out the second Monk as well. And MarineLorD just doing such a great job here of being able to control this position. Monk going to be going down. Second Monk picking it up. And Viper has lost so many Monks this game to MarineLorD. And interesting walls coming off here in the middle of the map from Viper, so really looking to try and control the narrative, but at the same time, I feel like he's invested a huge amount of resources into these relics, but at the same time, they haven't really paid off. I mean, he's struggling just to pick up his own relic that was considered, you know, at the start of the game, we talked about it. We said this was a safe relic for the Viper. Now, Palace Guard's actually coming out, but the Monk still goes down, and that is just so much pain coming through for Viper. MarineLorD looking to outplay him on all forms of the game right now. Veteran Spearman has come through for MarineLorD. We'll check in with his barracks and see whether he's got the Phalanx upgrade. Indeed, he does. 1,300 wood in the bank as well. This guy is saving up for something, but I tell you what, it is not not a house. This is not gold. He's saving up wood. What do you get with a lot of wood? I guess a good time. He's saving up for a good time. That is what MarineLorD is doing. We're having a great cast today, aren't we, fellas? Interesting farms being positioned here. Very, very curiously, these farms have been placed upon the hills, the cliffs, if you will. Somehow this is considered an acceptable farming location. I don't know about you, but if I was the farmer's daughter or the farmer's son, I would be like, I don't know, Dad. It just doesn't... I'm not a big fan of farming like that. How are you possibly going to water that? How do you get the lawnmower up there? I mean, you don't need a lawnmower. It's wheat. But you guys get what I mean, right? Like, you got Pedro from the town, the neighboring town, and he's like, please, sir, please, I need water. Why does Pedro sound like that? Why does Pedro sound like he's been farming for 15 years and he's finally just found out that there's a well nearby with water available and you're the guy who's got the key to it? Oh, geez, Drongo. All right, we got to talk after this game, Drongo. We got to have to do a little analysis on our casting abilities because I feel like we're casting, but at the same time we're playing into our own fantasies. You know, whether it be with the boar, whether it be with Pedro. Oh my lord, dude. Whether it be with insufficient wood or in some cases like MarineLorD's excessive wood. But now MarineLorD going to be looking to add in springwoods in the middle of the map. He's already dropped down that battering ram. Second springwood going to be coming out for him. He's looking to drop down the outpost as well. So probably going to be seeing springwood emplacements come through. We do see 3 villagers on stone back here. At the same time, a bit of an attack. And look at Viper just doing classic proxy Viper things. Bringing out a single villager, somehow getting it behind enemy lines. And it is... I don't know whether we're going to be saving Private Ryan here, but it looks like you're going to need to save those clock tower nester bees. Look at the springwoods coming out from Viper. Huge mass from him. And this is really where the Chinese get their power from. It is going to be that clock tower, that astronomical clock tower. So even though the enemy, the Abbasid dynasty, is actually able to build their units out on the field, they're not as strong as the clock tower springwoods that come out from the Chinese. Outpost still yet to get that springwood upgrade. Got to be careful with these springwoods. These springwoods are moving forward. They do come into a bit of an awkward spot, firing through that stealth forest, and now doing a great job of baiting those nester bees forward. They're going to be able to trade out on this outpost, but it feels like a little bit of a bad decision. Villagers also coming forward right now with MarineLorD, or with Viper rather. MarineLorD, Viper got to be so careful. It looks like his... What are his springwoods doing? Springwoods actually looking to go on a bit of a hillside vacation. They come right forward, forget for a second that they've got a range of 10, and they're like, hold on a minute, we got to kiss the enemy to kill him. And Viper just takes a terrible fight. Honestly, a terrible fight. A fight he did not need to take. A single trebuchet coming out, sieges this position, pushes him back. He can look to fight it in another position. Viper just throws away all of his army because of a stealth forest and because of a buggy springwood. And for anybody who doesn't know the bug that I'm talking about, there's a little bit of an issue, and it looks like MarineLorD managed to find it. If you can get your springwoods to sit on one side of this hill right here, then the enemy springwoods can't attack them. They cannot attack them. And if you right-click them, the enemy springwoods will literally move up to point-blank range and try and attack them. And that's exactly what happened there with Viper. He obviously, you know, looked away from his keyboard or his monitor for a second there and lost absolutely everything. Very unfortunate for him. And now those springwoods all completely dead. Nester B is going to be sitting here on the back line. Do manage to clean up all of the units over there, but Viper throws away his entire siege army. MarineLorD currently floating 3k wood. Any wood enjoyers in the chat? Any wood enjoyers on YouTube? I tell you what, if you don't enjoy wood, well, head over to MarineLorD's house. He's got plenty of it for you. There is not going to be any insufficiencies with regard to that, but Viper on the other side, you can see he's struggling to make ends meet over there. Villagers going to be doing their best to siege down this barracks. He's going to have to say goodbye to that 12 tax, and that is a painful loss for him. But now those nester bees masses beginning to build. Viper at the moment just sitting at a very low villager count. He's gathered up 4 relics, and you know, like I would love to be like, I would pat Viper on the back at this point and be like, you know what, Viper, good job, you got the 4 relics. You're down 40 villagers though. Yeah. Even if I had 4 relics in a Regnitz Cathedral, I would still take the 40 villagers over it. Actually, would I? 1200 gold a minute versus the game versus 40 village. Nah, I take the 4 yeah. Even though it's worth less, even though it's like 30 vils versus 40 vils, you'd still take the Regnitz, definitely. There is actually a bug where you can fit in the extra relics in the Regnitz Cathedral. I don't know how it works. It's one of those like classic Rus bug thingies, but counterweight Trebuchet now going to be coming out for Viper, doing the right thing and not going into an astronomical clock tower. Trebuchet actually just making a normal one, so not to waste the time that it takes to get these units out. You can see now that because you can't supervise the astronomical clock tower, there's no point in like going for the trebuchets to be the clock tower ones, because you've got extra health on it. It's like, for what? Like the trebuchet's got 16 range. It doesn't really do much. Sacred Site actually going to get captured up for Viper down on that position. There is one up towards the north, obviously yet to take that up, but now going to be moving forward. You can see that the siege mass is really coming out. Viper definitely looking to be inspired by his inner Beastie Cutie, taking a leaf out of the page of Beastie Cutie, it seems, because if there's one player who likes to play the game this way with a whole massive siege, it is definitely the Beastie Cutie. But keep in mind, guys, this is game number 3 between these two players. This is a $125,000 tournament. Now, granted, we're only in the first couple rounds here, but MarineLorD versus Viper, I mean, these guys are in the knockout brackets. Whoever loses this battle is going to be going home, because we are 1-1 in this series. It's a best of 3, so you better be holding on tight to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, because the Springlets move forward, but there's nothing here to protect them. Nasta B's going to be on the back line, firing off. A huge bit of damage comes through. There are 2 Palace Guards that come out and look to greet the enemy units. Trebuchet on the back line going to be looking to unfold it, and the Nasta B's trying their best to wheedle out a little bit of a load, but not finding too much, and actually managing to pull out the villagers here at the same time. Look how much damage comes through from those men-at-arms. There's just not... You know what Viper needs? It could have all been swapped. It could have all been prevented with a single relic, a single Wololo. You bring two Wololo guys, 2 monks holding relics, and you can stop this completely. I've done it before. I've seen it before. It happened to me in a vision. I saw it back when I was in... I was thinking like Ethiopia, Chile, like I was on a mission in India, like where was I? I had a vision. Like if you're going to play a full siege composition, which Viper definitely looks intent on doing, you can actually protect them with monks holding a relic. The trick is though, you need to have a lot of monks, and you need to be ready to heal that monk, because they are going to be focused down if the enemy looks to commit to it. But Viper now really struggling in this position. It looks like a keep is going to be coming down, but at the same time, Trebuchets are already out for his enemy, so it becomes a moot point, because this keep is only going to be delaying his enemy. It's not really going to be buying him time, because his enemy's already got the keep. He's already got the trebuchets out, already has the siege workshop out, and now Viper going to be under attack. You can see all the villagers beginning to move forward. We're going to be entering into a cinematic mode right now, because we are about to witness glory right now, because they are heading into this fight. Look at all the spears moving forward, bringing out their torches, looking to siege down a huge amount of the units here. At the same time, on the back line, the Springlets doing a great job of taking out all of this siege here. But look, there's 5 Nesta Bees still here raining down on the parade, and it looks like good game gets called. Viper gets tapped out. MarineLorD goes through to the next round, and he will be looking to continue his run in this tournament. $125,000, the Golden League. Fellas, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.